There she is. She finally runs. Was having a few issues earlier with it, and all it was the crank sensor. I didn't have it plugged in, and so yeah, I don't want to let it run too long just because it's open headers. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, fuel pressure's not coming up. Oh no, I know what happened. This is kind of just a shitty looking little thing I made, because if you look right there, you can see the factory master cylinder hull is different. It's like chooched sideways. So anyhow, I made like a little adapter. So basically, I'm just gonna bolt this guy on here with those bolts, and then I'm gonna bolt the clutch slave or the clutch master to those guys right there. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and touch a little bit of paint on there. Well, today it is Thursday the 19th. Anyhow, the drift event is the 22nd. I'm going to try my best to make it. This is just kind of a little makeshift thing. I got this little piece of pipe a long time ago. I bought a supercharger kit for my Ranger that I ended up supercharging. This came with it, and it's been sitting on my shelf for like 3.5 years or so, and I knew I was eventually going to need it, and it works perfect. So a little bit tight right there, but you know, I squeezed it in there and made it fit. And but anyhow, right here, encountering some issues with these exhaust manifolds. These manifolds are off of a C6 Corvette, the Ls1, and anyhow, basically what's going on is it's hitting this is the factory Nissan motor mount right there. It's hitting that bad boy, and I think it might be hitting a little bit of this. I might have to cut a little bit off of them both. So what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm just going to hack that off. I'm going to get the grinder, and I'm just going to cut that bastard right off. Other than that, I mean, it seems like should fit. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed. And but anyhow, so it should. Damn bastard. So it'll sit on there, you know, nice and pretty. But like I said, it's hitting that thing right there, and it's just kind of in the way. Passenger side went on. There's no issues. It's gonna be kind of tight. Here, let me see if I could, you know, put a S14 in my skull, and anyhow, that's all bolted on. As you can see, it's pushing it for clearance. I might be able to get away with flipping that motor mount around as this side is, because they're completely different looking on each side. If you look over there, so I might be able to just flip that around. I might do that real quick, so I don't have to cut it off. This previous guy who I got the oil pan from, he put this little spacer here to put that on. So I'm going to pull that off, because as you can tell, I don't want my damn oil filter hanging down that low, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And I bought a new oil pressure gauge. It's an autometer. Basically what you do, yeah, let me see, it's not in there, this guy right there, you just go ahead and drill and tap it, and you know, with an 8th NTP pipe thread. There's the gauge. I think I already showed you guys that shit. Went to Lowe's today as I was, you know, wandering around. I was getting some bolts and a few other little things. I bought a power steering puller at damn O'Reilly bastards, and got some bolts and a few other little things. Came across these damn sockets for sale. They're cheap, super damn cheap. These rails right here, these are, you know, they didn't come with the sockets, but these were only $4.99 a piece. Originally like $10 for each one of the rails. And I got 3 of those. So I actually got 4. I got another 1/2-inch one for some 1/2-inch stuff I have. But this shallow row of 6-point metric sockets, I think it was $10. Deep row of 12-point metric sockets was $10, and this row of 1/4-inch metric sockets was I think $4.99 or something. I mean, just super cheap. And as you can see over here in the trash can, got those guys right there. And I mean, it's a pretty good deal. I think, you know, these were originally like 10 or something like that. I don't know. And then these were like 26, and so I'm pretty happy about that. I've been needing some extra things, especially that little guy right there, that damn 10. I use that thing and I lose it, and but anyhow, I got this. This is the GTO power steering pump. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the pulley. Hopefully, everything's well with that, and I don't have to get a new pulley for it, because that'd be terrible. But I'm gonna go ahead and try pulling that off, and I'll probably make a how-to video on how to do that. And just because I was kind of curious, and one of them helped me, so I'll just make another one. I'll flood the market with how-to videos on shit like this. So anyhow, this is what I'm working on right now. I went ahead and I tapped this little fitting right here. This is the oil pressure sender, you know, for my odometer gauge, and basically it's just this little guy that goes. Let me turn on the light. There it is. That's where it goes, right there, right above this. So I'm gonna take out this sandwich adapter because it's way too big, and but yeah, this is the way that you're supposed to do that, and so it's tapped pretty decent in there. I just got this. It's a little 1/8 NTP pipe tap. So I just drill the hole, and I center punched it, drill the hole, and put that on there. I'm gonna put some Teflon tape on it. Go ahead and put it back up in there. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with anything. If it does, I have like a little bit of a line. You know, I might just route it somewhere over here. Had a tragedy with the power steering pump. I was gonna make you guys a big how-to video, and then I figured I'd practice. And anyhow, this is it's kind of the remains. But I was trying to use that GTO pump, and anyhow, it wasn't working. I guess the pulleys are different. They're, you know, completely different. But it started to go on there, and it seemed like it was going to finish going on there. So I started hammering it, and damn thing, it cracked these guys right here, and so I cracked it pretty good. You know, right down the half. I was going to try and JB weld it, just, you know, because I can't find nothing. But anyhow, so my power steering is I don't have power steering no more. Reason I was going to use the GTO pump was because I wasn't going to have to get a line. This is the F-body line right here, and I have it going down over here. This is the factory Nissan line. I got this barbed fitting that has, you know, 2 male ends on it, and went ahead and pushed that on there as far as I could, and then I kind of think I still need to push this one on there a little bit more if I can. But I think that should work. I mean, the barbs on there are pretty good. I mean, you can't hardly, you know, I mean, you'd never be able to pull that thing off again once you got it stuck on there. So basically, I'm going to give that a try. Let's see, what else have I done. I flipped the exhaust manifolds around so they're kind of facing forward. I might just, you know, put the flange on it and scab a little, you know, like a little piece down straight, you know, just to the ground so it's not, you know, dumping. And then I might just run open headers on it for the event if I end up making it. Biggest thing I got to worry about right now is this damn power steering pump. You know, basically, because I tried turning the wheel with this thing and it's just ridiculous. And then I got this little fuse box thing right here. I really don't like that, just because you have to add separate terminals for each individual thing. Got some relays right here, and I got plenty of those. And I'm gonna go ahead and wire up some relays, just because I've already popped one of the fuses. Basically, down here for the wiring, just temporary, because I didn't know what I was gonna do. This is basically the red wire. That's 12 volts constant all the time. I wired that into all the orange wires going into here, and as you can see, that I just use butt connectors and they suck. And And then anyhow, I got all these. Here's a pink wire that was left out, but it still runs. And anyhow, I just wired all the pink wires into that connector right there, that little guy, and then ran it to this red and black wire out of the F3 connector, and that's basically just an ignition switched. Then I went ahead and I ran the ground into another thing, and then grounded it right there. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this setup a little bit better. I'm going to use this as the signal wire for the ignition switch relay. I'm just going to go ahead and connect these orange directly to the battery, but with a fuse in line. You know, just kind of clean it up a little bit down here, and you know, try to separate it a little. You know, all these things, and get it all tucked away nicely. I got the AC box out of it. It's supposed to go up in here. I got the blower motor kind of out of the way, or not really, it's actually in the way, but I got it basically so I could get all those wires through there. I just stuffed all the stuff, so it's not the prettiest looking setup, but for now it works. I cleaned the interior. The carpet looks like shit, but I cleaned the dash and all that, but I'm surprised at how clean this car actually is on the inside. You know, it's hard to tell when it was full of parts, but now it's actually pretty clean. I still need to vacuum it and a few other little things. That door panel sucks. And this, I guess it was in some sort of a, you know, little bit of a collision. I mean, I know it was up in front. It had a little bit of a owie up there, but anyhow, so the airbag was just kind of hanging out of there, so I just went ahead and cut it and folded it. You know, well, I didn't fold it, I just cut it out of there and then black taped that just so it doesn't look like a complete bag of shit. Let's see. I put in the back seat on the bottom, just a few random little things, took out a bunch of shit. I still need to, there's the fuel pump. Still need to put the fuel pump in. I got the Walbro, but for now it runs on the stock. Just a few minor little things. It is Friday at 6:57 in the morning. Drift event's Sunday. So I got a buddy who might let me borrow their power steering pump. Hopefully that'll work out. He also has some headers. I might try and you know, bug him because he actually has an Ls1. But he's working on it. Anyhow, he's in a state or a city over, but he has this thing. It's a drift factory. You know, he does work for people and stuff like that. And I'm trying to convince him to get a YouTube channel going. So he ought to be able to make some interesting videos. And he also has a Ls1 swapped S14. And I actually seen his car with the first drift event that I actually went to. I seen his car there and talked to him about it. Really cool guy. But yeah, like I said, I just need to clean up a few random little things. So I make sure this thing doesn't catch on fire because I don't want that. Let's see, I had a little hose over here earlier that I was using. I was just putting it in. I have like a little, off a Honda Civic, it's like a little loop. I was just going to put that on there, not run heater, you know, because it's hot as shit out anyhow. But basically, right now I'm going to do is pull off the filter and, you know, take that little spacer thing out of there and go ahead and put the oil filter back on top and then put the sender in, which it doesn't look like it's going to have any interference issues, I hope, but I need to put some of that stuff on there. Got that done?